Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AG, the dad, once again with Shit Talking Sundays for another edition of this morning coffee. Man, we have a lot to talk about today. And you know me, I like to just jump right in it. So let me get my guests on the line. We got the one, the only MTV's Viva La Bam Executioner. What up,
What up?
X?
What up? What's good? What's good, AG the dad?
Hey, man, what's cracking, man?
Oh
How-
man, chilling.
I see it's nice and sunny on your side of the world.
Yeah, it feels good over here.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna have to talk about this, the baby. We're gonna talk about the LGBTQ community a little bit. We're not bashing. Remember, this is always about points of views, information, and let's just take it all with a grain of salt. It doesn't. We're just trying to create dialect, and maybe we can bring peace between the feuding communities, whichever they may be. But before we get into that, we're gonna definitely need to bring a few more people on. Let's bring Michelle. She has her own pod show that she's working on, dealing with relationships and stuff, and I think she would be very important in this. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Can you hear us? I think your mic is muted. Hello?
It was muted. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
executioner. Good
Hey,
morning.
how you doing?
Hey, how
I'm
you
doing
doing?
good.
Hey,
Doing
this morning
great.
we gonna talk about some of your favorite topics. I know we gonna get on the baby a little bit about this domestic stuff he's doing and all the other things that you know might bother a woman's point of view, you know. But before we get into
Mhm.
that again, I got one more guest I got to introduce real quick. Let's get somebody from the Party Central, Las Vegas. We got Fly Ski from the 106, who wants to be muted visually. He's being
Hey, how's
squishy.
everybody doing?
What's up,
What's up?
Fly Ski?
Man, chilling. Good to see everybody this morning.
Yep. Hey, so
Me.
let's get right into it, Michelle. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the baby. I mean, what's your concerns about him or his situation?
Oh, well, him was a first. I mean, this last situation that happened this week, I mean, for him to put out his business on social media, to me, to do his baby, so-called baby mom, the way just to put the business, I mean, and for him to have that that was just really, and it was. I mean, what do you think? I mean, would you put, because you got 20 years from now, is going to look at this and see how he did
Right.
her mother, and that's not going to be right. I mean, it's about it. You got daughters, you know what I mean? Some man to treat your daughter that way. I mean, think about it.
Well, it all goes. You're choppy, but your voice is. I can hear you. But I guess from a
Okay.
father's standpoint, I definitely would not want um, my daughter or even my son, for that matter, to put their business in the streets like that. Um, you got to have more respect and show some privacy for your own family and relationship. You got to protect them because there is a lot of people out there that want to do um, your family harm, especially when you're in the limelight as big as he is. So, I mean, me personally, I think I
Mhm.
would have to, you know, be just a little bit more incognito about what I do.
I'm gonna come in real quick. I think in our community, what we need to start doing instead of when you break up, viewing your baby mama as the enemy, her viewing you as the enemy. Y'all still need to try to maintain a positive unit for the child. So in that case, Michelle is saying his action was tasteless and posting that. Everybody, well, I can't say everybody, right? Because people only want to post the good things on social media for the most part, right?
Right.
So him doing that basic really does affect his child today and possibly in the future. So I get what Michelle is saying, and again, we need to stick together because there's too many factors pulling families apart. And
Right.
I'm done.
He said, and I'm done. I agree. Um, it just kind of reinforces the thing I'm saying about, you got to keep your stuff private because some of the things that you're going to do and say, people say things in anger. And I guarantee you, a lot of relationships have ended because of things that people didn't mean to necessarily say, you know? So, um, yeah, him putting it out there. My mom used to tell me, if you lay on the ground and you spit straight up in the air with no wind, the spit's going to hit you right in your face. So, with that saying, basically, I'm saying, don't talk mess about somebody, especially if you're not certain that it's over. If you're done, well, I mean, but if you ain't done, and there's a lot of times done ain't done until you die. That goes back to my one of my episodes with Pastor Phil, and we said forgiveness. Sometimes you gotta, be the bigger person and say I'm sorry, and if you do, sometimes this kind of thing happens when you come to your senses and realize what happened wasn't meant to happen the way it did.
It takes a strong person to forgive. Think about all the people who you feel like have done wrong to you or who you've been in a fight with. And
Hmm.
this is you can take those feelings back to elementary school, right?
Right.
So at some point in your life, you just have to forgive and let all this stuff go. In relationships, we're still people, right? So people still make mistakes. Um, we still see things that we think we want outside the relationship, and wisdom comes with time, right? So uh, that's how we learn. We don't learn through knowledge. We learn through going through stuff, right?
Right.
You can read all the books you want, but that don't mean uh, you're wise. So we
Right.
go through these things and we learn from them, and we just have to be strong and learn how to forgive eventually.
Right.
I'm out.
Right. He says, and I'm out. Uh, you know, um, everybody has to take blame for their actions, and I'm thinking that oh girl, what's her name, Daphne or Dana, yeah,
Danny Lay.
she Daniela, yeah, she needs look at her when you look at her video and you see the things that she was yelling and screaming. I mean, sometime, what I forgot what that comedian's name is it Rappaport or something like that? He says something like, "What's today? Today is shut the F up Friday." And if you live by that, in the heat of the moment, sometimes, man, sometimes people just need to. In I know people want to get your point across when you're arguing and whatever, but sometimes everybody walking away for 10 seconds and then coming and having a conversation might be a little bit more productive and less destructive, because everybody, when you're arguing out of anger. People need to open up and speak their mind before things elevate to the point of where they got, you know.
Or sometimes people just have to agree to disagree, right?
Right, that
That's
too.
true.
I
That's
mean,
very
we
true.
yeah, well, We're all human. Everybody, you know, e- everybody has a different of opinion. Just like, hey man, not to bring it up because I don't like talk politics on here, but just like the Trump Biden thing, um, you know, um, things would be a little bit better if people could agree to disagree. Um, all this uh, stole the vote, stuff like that. I mean, look, if it really is that bad that they're stealing the vote, whether it's Republican or Democrat, why not go and try to fix the problem at the areas where you think the problem exists, opposed to sitting here pointing fingers, yelling because both sides do it. Whatever is going on, this isn't new tricks. Politics has been around for hundreds of years. So that's why, well, But anyway, we're getting off subject with that. Let's get back to the baby. So,
Can I say
you
something?
know,
What
yes,
people
ma'am.
fail to realize is that words hurt. You know what I mean? Um, it could be very damaging, very damaging. So when you're in the heat of an argument, it's really like you said earlier, it's basically to walk away because you can't back some of the things that you say. And
Right, right.
I know in time when you get older, you learn. You learn. I know in my younger days, I'm already guilty of saying a lot of things that I know I can say I'm sorry, but the person can probably forgive me, but the thing is they'll never forget it. You know,
Right.
uh, and words can like an abuse, like mental abuse. It's just it can stick with you. It's worse than physical abuse. So relationships are hard, and just like Casey, he was saying, when you break up with somebody, and you have children, it's best to try to stay. I don't, and this is what just gets me is what I don't realize is with two people that once were so in love to hate and can't stand
Mhm.
the sight of each other. Understand where why can't we could just just walk away and just be like, okay, we just didn't work out. We got to make it, try to make it work for the child,
Mhm.
co-parenting. Why does it have to go to the left? Like to me with the situation with the baby, why he had so much money. Why if you wanted to have another girl, why not go to the hotel? Be with the other woman. I mean, if that was the case, I wasn't there, so I don't know what the situation was. He wanted her out like he did to put the baby and her out. But I'm just saying you have just actions could have been avoided.
Um,
I mean, and it doesn't get. I
the
just don't understand.
I think the problem with the music industry is the fact that um, you have all these young rappers or entertainers in general that are getting all this money and fame and fortune and have no ground. They were never raised with all the bare necessities to survive in life, to be a responsible adult. If you give any child a bunch of money, they're going to buy everything that's probably bad for them and not think about their future. And most of these people, I don't know if the baby, this was his situation, but I would say that, he's got so many women coming at him and he's so young that all I could think about is how I was at his age and how I would be if I had that kind of money and that kind of action, because I know how I was with the action that I had at my level that I'm at now, you know? So for him, he just didn't have all the grounding roots that he needed to have a productive relationship. If the baby was even planned, it could have just been, oh, surprise, I'm pregnant, especially at his age. I don't think they went into it going, hey, you want to have a baby with me? So they were forced to be together if they didn't plan the baby. So you already got some things going against you because they didn't necessarily have the mindset of starting family together. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. What say you, X?
Well, with the baby whole situation, I'm gonna speak real about something. We don't know, like Michelle said, we really don't know what really happened. I mean, we're just going by what we're hearing by the tabloids, all these little paparazzis, the fans, and all this other shit. We got to know one thing at the end of the day. If you was there, then you understand what happened. People put people making them look bad and whatnot, but we don't know what happened. People have their own issues that they try to hide away from the public, and some way, somehow, the public finds out and they just blast. I think that's what we need to do. America needs to learn how to put their business aside, stop putting all these false information towards a person, even if you like them or you don't like them. Respect them. They're human beings just like we are. Respect them. Even if you don't like them, okay, but don't bash them and put their business out there like that. If you don't know the whole story and don't know what's going on, don't do that, man. That make you look like a sucker, But in reality, hey, if he kicked her out, we don't know. What was the reason? We don't know. Maybe he had a good reason to do that. I'm not saying that's good if he did, but we don't know. I mean, that's just all I'm going to say about that.
Well, the end of the day, most relationships, the reason people tell you to stay out of other people's business is because when you take a side and you go against the other person, okay, like if we were all the baby's friends and we were going to his girl saying, "Hey, you're messing up," or whatever, or talking bad about the other person, when they get back together, and most relationships work problems out. Um, Now, guess who looks like the ass? You, because you talked all this mess, and now, you know, so it just makes it easier if you just
Yeah,
I'm not saying stay out of people's business because, the domestic violence side of it. Let's touch on that a little bit, Michelle. The domestic violence side of it, um, because I know it's usually the man beating the woman, and which is
Mm-hmm.
definitely not right.
not okay.
Um, it's equally not okay for a woman to beat on a man, because there are some cases out there where the woman is bigger and badder than some of these men out here. So, just violence in general in a relationship is definitely, no no. So, I don't know, Michelle. I mean, do you think that she
I
was
think violence is
justified
wrong.
to? Uh-huh.
No, 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 no. It's not by
But
period. It's not for a man or a woman to do any violence. Um, I can
right.
say though, I've been there before where I've been heated in the moment and had to catch myself. But I also do realize that I'm not a man and I'm not going to put myself in a man's position. Because some men will go off and haul you, knock you right back out or try to hit you back. So that's
Ike
just I
Turner.
can only speak for myself, huh?
Yeah. Ike Turner.
So I can speak for myself. Exactly, but it's not right. But like I said, like I don't even know what the situation may be. To me, like I said, to me, it's just how he did it, and could have walked away, could have been prevented. Put it on a live on social media. Um, Basically, because I'm private, I don't want the whole world to know my business. And if
Mhm.
we're going through some problems, we need to talk it out. So violence is not is a total deal breaker. I mean, when you get older, you start to see the signs. You be like, oh, I can't deal with that. Um, Especially when you get older, you rather be by yourself than to deal with the bull. But when you're young and you want
You're
to,
gonna deal with an angry person. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. Gonna deal
Um,
with
yeah,
an angry person.
Yeah.
It's man. Yeah, but love keeps you in bad situations sometimes. You cannot tell the heart how and who to love. That's the problem. And maybe for men and women, we need to start thinking with the bigger brain than the smaller brains. Because, I mean, although the genitalia is very intoxicating for whoever you're with, we definitely need to make wiser decisions. You know, Matter of fact, speaking on um, sexuality, let's address the baby LGBTQ comment about if you don't have HIV, throw your hands up or something like that. Do you feel like he was bashing that community? What do you think?
It was a shot, it was definitely a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Was it? Did he? Was it a concert with just uh homosexuals or what? Like, how does
No,
that work?
no,
Come out.
no, no. That the concert wasn't just to them. I'm saying it was to everybody. But
And he
you
made that
know,
comment.
Okay, so then I changed that. How is that a shot to just them? If you like, hey, raise your hands up. You don't have AIDS, HIV. That's
well,
what's
see,
up. We clean in here. Meet me after
right?
the
Hey,
show. I don't
I'm just hey. For me, I'm not going to necessarily say. Yeah, I'm
know.
not going to say that it was a shot at them. Maybe it's helping to bring um, awareness
Awareness.
because to HIV. Because if you think about it, we don't really talk about that much anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Not
been
anymore.
COVID, and other things, but we don't talk about some other. There's a lot of silent killers out there that can get you in that community and in the non-LGBTQ community. You know, um,
Man,
I
the
know.
ghetto is still being
It's not
affected
like
by
it's
bullying.
not like it was
So,
years. HIV. I work in the medical
Uh,
field. It's not the same as it was back in the 80s. I mean, in the 90s when it first, the 80s and 90s when it first came out. Now, as you can see, Magic Johnson, you can live forever. Now people are getting in relationships out there for men. If you get in a relationship and one of your partners has HIV, it's called PrEP. You can take that just for so many weeks before and then have sex with them and it will not, the other person will not contract. So HIV is not a killer like it to be.
yeah, I've been seeing a
It's,
lot of
but
commercials for
it
HIV
still can kill you.
medication. I've been seeing a lot of commercials.
Mm-hmm.
well, you
They're
know,
living. You can live with that thing.
I mean, I believe people
But I don't
live
want.
on it.
I'm just saying. I still,
Um, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But the
yeah.
the LGBTQ community, um, I I would like for them to look at things the way the straight community, and I'm not speaking um, from my own personal opinion or view. Speaking on giving people two sides to think about. I'm not when if you have a straight group and you have a and I'm hoping I'm not saying it wrong, and I mean no disrespect because I know how touchy this subject can be. If you have a gay side and a straight side, and you're trying to force your views on people, it never works out. That's why I think the evolution of entertainment has evolved to where our morals and standards way back in the day, pre no ass whoopings allowed, um, people did better because they were afraid to do bad things because they knew that there were consequences. Now there's no consequences for people's actions. Matter of fact, Rittenhouse, not to bring that up, is a prime example of where there's injustice. Um,
Ain't that crazy, bro? Like you can
um,
walk down the street and kill people and
Get away
go
and get
home
away with it.
and go home.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, because to me, I understand that there was civil unrest, um, but this child, and let's call it what it was at the time. This is a child under the age of 18. He was in another state and given a gun. If I heard everything correct, that he didn't bring a gun, he was given a gun when he got to that state. Why would any responsible adult want to give a child a gun and say, take up arms and let's defend this city, when you have to be at least 18 to defend this country? So if you're giving a child, and I'm sure he wasn't as vigorously trained as our military with a weapon to know how to respond for certain hostile situations. I mean, me personally, I don't think I would have ran way back in the beginning when he was first running to be chased down. I think if I'm going to point the gun at you because you're aggressive towards me, that's where we're going to make the stand. And I think that's where the stand your ground thing comes in. But also, Rittenhouse shouldn't have been there. But we getting off from the subject of the LGBTQ community thing, and we will get back to the Rittenhouse because we need to talk about that. But you can't force your views on people, because when you do, that's when it starts creating conflict. You know, I don't have a problem with people educating, yourselves and others, but nah. And then to go to school, I think the school system, um, they're going a little too far on the amount of information they're giving our little ones. And I mean like elementary school, stuff like that. I don't think sex ed should be discussed in the elementary school level. And when it gets to junior high school, I think it should be very limited, birds and bees, not sexual orientation. Because at that age, if they are, I'm not going to say confused, if they're unsure of their sexuality, they're still trying to find themselves at that age, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're easily influenced at that age. So you're not quite sure what direction you want to go. And I don't think that the
You're
school
not
system,
born homosexual.
um, man, I can't answer that question. I can only say that I feel that I was not born homosexual. I feel like I was born to be a man and live life as a man. Go ahead. What you got to say, Michelle?
This is a good one here. You know, I can't say because I can only say what I was born as. But I've got a lot of friends who are gay and part of the community, and sometimes they say that they're born that way, and they know that's the way they are. And who am I to say that's not? Can't say. For my own experience, I understand because I don't.
Okay. Well, hold on. Then here's a question. Here's a question. If you say that from your own experience, then can you explain the rise of bisexual women then? Is it just a fad that women are going, um, my man, his fantasy is to have two women. So you know what? I'm gonna give it to him because all these rappers are doing it. So my man is good enough. He deserves that. Or vice versa. My girl is good enough. I'm gonna give her a threesome or whatever. Whatever your reasoning to be putting yourself in that position is. How do you feel about that?
Michelle got that smile on her face, like
you know what? I can tell you, I've been guilty so many times. I've been guilty so many times. I'm about to start messing with women. I said it. I've been there. I appreciate women. So I look at what it's not like you men can go, ooh, look at him. He looks good. You know, I can sit there and get away with saying she's beautiful. Ooh, her body's banging, or she's, you know, I can get away with saying that and not, you know, but if a man does it, it's like you can't, to another man, it's not the same. But as far as women going that route, okay, I have to say maybe it's got to be because I'm not going to say there's no good men out there, but the ratio is not looking good out here if you're single to find a good man.
Michelle,
yes.
We had this conversation about people saying there's not good men. There's a lot of good people out here, just not good for you. You know, and I don't mean you.
I didn't say there was no good men. I just said, remember we just said I have a bad picker. I just said the ratio out here is
go out the box.
Yeah, am I saying none of you guys are good? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying ratio is pretty bad out here. Matter of fact, look at the odds here. There's more women in the world than men. So if they say to one man, there's 3 or 4 women he can have. I mean,
opportunities. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, I don't get it, but men sometimes in the, you know, so it's in that world. But I'm just saying that a woman's scorn is what leads them probably to be treated by another woman. I mean, to go be with another woman, because a woman understands another woman. Sexually, she knows what pleases a woman. Everything she can. A woman knows another woman. I mean, now this is the part I don't understand. I have nothing against it. If I was one day to be a lesbian, I would be called a lips lesbian. Now, do you know what that means? You know what that lesbian,
is? Yeah. In the not really in the closet, but you just like to do it because it's for fun.
No. A lipstick lesbian, there's a difference. So you see the lesbians and ones the women who act like men, right? Okay, that's not lipstick. I want a woman that looks like a model. That's lipstick. If I were to be gay, I don't want, because if I was to be a lesbian and I'm going with a girl who portrays to be the man part, right? Why did I leave the man? Do you get what I'm saying?
Hey, I hear what you're saying. That's like, that's just like you know, the transsexual man to a woman, like Dave Chappelle said, they might feel like he's impersonating a woman. I kind of feel the same way. I see a stud woman, I'm like, you trying to be me. And then I look at the girl and I'm like, the girl who, like she says, a lipstick, I'm like, why wouldn't you just be able to do? But it's not about that. It's because that's an actual woman. And like she said, women know women, which is true. And we always have to get to know women over time. And AG, you know, with experience of dating women, being married and whatnot, you learn what they need and what they want. So a woman automatically, in most cases, they know each other. They've been through similar situations. I'm out.
You know, Michelle, you had said something about it's okay for a woman to tell another woman, oh, she's beautiful. You know what? There's nothing wrong with a man telling another man, you're dressed nice today. I'm not going to say it's appropriate for another man to go, man, you fine, bruh. Ooh, you fine.
Oh man, I'll tell a dude in a minute. I'll say, oh man, you a good looking cat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
See how you say it though. The CICC, we might say, damn, she's pretty, you know what I mean? Or something different. But the way you're saying it, it's kind of like, it's a little masculine where it's just like a masked over, like, hey, you look good, bro. You know.
And people, you should be able to respect another's game. You know what I mean? You should be able to respect somebody else's game. Yeah. You know, I can sit there and say, "Hey, G, bro, you look fly with my hat on, man. You look better than I do with my hat on, bro."
But hey, but you're only speaking the truth, my brother. You only speaking the truth. You look better on me. You know what I'm saying? What can I say?
Like, right, bro. As much as me and you we could definitely say we love each other, right? To the points a brother, older brother to a
Yep.
younger brother,
Yep.
almost like a father figure to me, right?
Right.
Held me down when I needed it.
Mhm.
So does that make us homosexual? Because we say, hey, bro, I love you. Execution,
No,
I love
no,
you. You know what I
no.
mean?
That
Does that
that's
make us
that's
gay?
that's brotherly love. That's showing an affection that, as brothers and friends, we love each other. There's no being gay or anything about that. That's just, you good friends, you brothers, you love each other, and you embrace yourself, as
But
brothers.
and here's the stigma, social norms, how can women turn their love into kisses and sex? I love you, girl. Let's go get in the bed. You know, how and but when a guy, if a guy, we're not like that. If we
No.
were had any thoughts of that and we did that, why is the stigma bad? Right? Why is there a different stigma for us? If we
Um,
were like, man, you know what I like, bro. We get along. We the house is clean when we, roommate,
mhm, mhm,
and we
mhm.
decide to get in a relationship. But that's like, you gay, bro. You know,
Right.
you're less than a man for doing that. She's not less than a woman for being gay.
Man,
Can
you
I
know
say,
what? At the end of go ahead, Michelle. Say
I want
something.
to say something. So let me say this. So if I dibble dabbled with a woman once or twice in my life, would you say that I'm gay?
I
I
would
would
Or am I
say
say
that.
I
lesbian?
would say you had experiences. I wouldn't necessarily call you gay because you have
If I
kids and all
told my,
this.
okay, so then if you told me you had experiences doing the same thing with a man, how would you think what I would look at you as?
I think
Not
you
the
would
same
say,
way.
"Oh, bro, you gay."
Yes. You definitely.
Bro, you gay.
Hey.
Just think,
So
but
do
think
you think
about
I'm
think
gay
about
too?
this.
Since I had, been with two women.
Okay, Michelle. You want the
Okay.
honest truth? I'm gonna give
Yes.
you the because
Yes.
we speak the truth here. Now I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
like this.
And I'm speaking true too. I'm being transparent.
Yeah,
Go
yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Let's be transparent. Now, and I'm gonna just speak on past relationships because this was what I was looking for at the time. Um, if I was to be in a club and I ran into you and our conversation was, you know, how you doing? And we got to the point where we talked about uh, being with other people together. And you were like, oh, yeah, I've been with a girl before. I don't know if I want to do it anymore, but I was with a girl before. The, the little light over my head would go off, bing, and say, there's a chance I can have a threesome with this girl. So I'm not going to say that I look at you and say, oh, uh, she's gay, but I know I, as a man, would look at you and say, I can have fun with her. And that's the messed up part because if a woman, if the roles were reversed and I told you that I had been with one, another
Mhm.
man, and you looked at me and said, "Ooh, that's great. I can have two men at one time." You're not looking at it the same way because as a man, as a single man having two women, I know I'm going to be with both of those women. Okay. The other direction is you might not be with both of those men. You might only be with one of them because obviously one is at very minimum bi. You know what I'm saying?
I know
So
what you're saying, but it's not the same.
it's not the same.
It's not the
That's what.
same because I'm gonna tell you, if a man told me that doesn't look great to me, like it's gonna be, he looks tainted. He looks like he's sweet
Right,
for another
right.
man. He's gonna be for me,
But
sweet
that
for me.
but that's because most women want a man,
Hmm.
a protector, a provider. That's
Hmm.
just kind of in our DNA bred. So in the back of your mind, the first thing you're looking at, not necessarily somebody that is uh masculine and aggressive and an alpha. I'm just talking about somebody who is comfortable being in his position. I'm not saying that
Hmm.
a man is runs everything, but there's most relationships. a woman looks to a man for advice, at very minimum, advice. What do you think? And your man's view matters in a good relationship, just like a woman's view matters in a good relationship. I'm not saying it one way that the man is, we're superior. I mean, physically, men are superior to women. Okay. It's just, I mean, it's a fact. That's why, but mentally, nah, I ain't gonna say that men are superior to women. I'm
I
just gonna
don't
say
know
that
if we're superior physically. We can't have babies, right? Like, look at all that pain they go through.
That's a lot of
A
pain, let me
lot.
tell you. And
hey,
through a pain each month of having a period and to go through all the mental stuff that we got to go
Man,
through.
hey, I'm not
We
saying that you're
actually,
not stronger mentally, because that's a mental thing. The things you have to endure are mental because
and physical.
hey, yes, but I have endured pain, I'm going to say equal to, if not greater than childbirth. Because, and the reason I say that is because I have a friend who had twins and she had kidney stones. And she told me kidney stones hurt more than childbirth.
I
And
had it
I'm
too,
going to
so
tell
I
you,
can agree.
okay,
I can
and
agree.
that shit, that hurt. And I had it. I had it a couple times. So I'm telling you, men are strong because I endured it and went through it. But I think it's the fact that you don't have a choice.
No,
If
I
you have
went through
kidney,
the kidney stone, so you're right about that. There's other pains that can match. There's appendix burst. I've had that, and the kidneys, and the gallbladder. I've had it all.
see,
Um,
so but
but
it's
we
that's why I say physically we're
continue
stronger.
to keep doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, but that's something that you don't. In some, like your period, you don't have a choice. Your menstrual cycle, you can't control that unless you want to go get a hysterectomy.
But
You
women
know,
keep having kids too. We can control that.
yes, you can control that. There's women out there I know personally that says, "Heck, no, I'm not having a kid, or I'm not having any more." You know, but
I had a
like
friend
that's why it
who
goes.
was surrogate and who runs actually she gets ladies to, and does a surrogacy. She's had her
Mhm.
kids and then turned around and had surrogacy twins and everything else, had babies further, so and on her last one almost died. um
Some people like having children. I know some women, they just love the experience, they love the feeling. So
oof,
it could be just as addicting to them as some drugs,
that's
you
true.
know. Um, but once again, we're straying from the subject of the LGBTQ. For me,
Yes.
like I said, looking at when you ask me how does it look from a man's point of view, we look at it like, yep, all right, she likes women. So at least that's how I look at it. That's how I looked at it. I'm not saying I look at it like that anymore because I have came to the realization that um, the more brains you put into your relationship, the more complicated things become. And if everybody that's involved in that relationship aren't, I'm not going to say intelligent enough, but understanding enough to comprehend the multiple brains outside of just yours and hers or his and hers, that's when it gets complicated. Because when you bring a third person in, that's a third personality that you have to please and make it happen. So
Let me say
I
I've
don't know.
experienced that, and it can be a problem altogether.
Right.
It's nothing good. When I was young, I experienced that. Letting a person come into the one time was supposed to be one time, one of the three, and it ended up being I was out because when I'd be at work, it was having their own little fling.
See, and that's the
So
problem. Trust
that's
has to
against the
be. That's
rules.
against the
Yeah.
rules, but
That's against the
but
rules.
hold on, but not necessarily. That's why if it's a one-time thing, okay, then you already know where it is. It's already been stated. This is a rule. One time, boom, they don't come back. Don't exchange numbers. Don't keep in contact. It's a one-time thing. That's why those kind of things are best done out of town in another state so that they don't come back to bite you in the butt. But most people go into that scenario without discussing it first. And when it happens, they wind up doing it, get caught up in the euphoria of it and decide they want to keep doing it without setting some boundaries and standards. In my case, when when things happen, we had already discussed what and how things were going to be in general. And it worked out well. It actually worked out to the point where it started not becoming fun.
Well, sometimes, man, some people are able to meet people and do the one night stand thing. And some people actually have to get to know the person to allow them into their relationship, because some people want to be smart about it, right? So maybe they'll all get tested, stuff like it's just not all spontaneous all the time. It's like, oh, we like this person. I've seen shows where married people are looking for a third wife. You
Right.
haven't seen that show before?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot what it's
Happens
called.
all the time. Let me tell you, when I was in a relationship where that was something that we discussed, we were looking. The problem with it is it's hard to find somebody who's going, like I said, once again, that's going to adapt to both people. Okay. Because the third person that comes in has to be and want both of the other people in the relationship. Because if they don't, it's not going to work. Because if one likes one more than the other, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Either one's going to try to take them and pull them apart, or there'll be some haterism where when somebody's gone, hey, you know what he tried to do when you were in the room? He came in the bathroom and and you don't those little things might be what caused jealousy. Even though you guys are cool, oh, he came by, he smacked my butt, or he kissed me this morning. And that was a taboo. We don't do any affection unless you're around each other. And that was the problem that makes things really hard. When you want to bring a third person in, that's when most of your rules can't apply. Because if you put so much restriction on the third person has to be so fake that it can't be natural. You can't have a natural evolving relationship because the third person is, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, don't do this, don't do that.
Well, everybody's saying that if that's the case. So I guess then what? It should just be a free for all. Like we're all in a relationship. We all can do what we want to do with each other when we want to, right? And we can do it with each other.
If you're in a three-way relationship, yes. Why can't it be spontaneous if you walked past your girl and it was just you and her in this relationship and you wanted to be spontaneous with her? What's the problem?
Yeah, because if you bring the third person in, they really have no say, right? So
no,
you can always be the person you were with.
Wait. That's why I'm saying you can't have those rules, because that third person needs to have the same freedom. Because if she walked by your girl and they were having a spontaneous moment, why would that be wrong if you've invited them into your life?
Exactly. That's true.
So that's what, and most relationships aren't strong enough to accept that, because if you think about it, we're all emotional people. And as an emotional person, you already know that you're not going to be okay with somebody else messing with your mate, especially in front of you. That's traumatizing to the heart.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, for me, she'd have to be like, hey, babe, it's going down. And I had to, run and get ready. You can't be leaving me out, bro. And leaving me out, I'm ready at all times. So just let me know, holler for me.
Right. Hey, man, but I'm just saying, and usually it's the woman that's going to have the problem with it, because most three-way relationships aren't two men and a woman. It's usually two women and a man. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist where there are people out there who have two men in their life that live under the same roof. I'm not saying it's impossible.
That's a cold shit. That's a cold shit.
Hey,
if she got two dudes,
hey,
it's like a win-win to me.
Okay, all right. Hey,
but they working. They both working. Hey, you say they're in a relationship. Look, she got bill paid for sure.
Right.
So the problem is I can't understand that. I'm gonna tell you why. If anything, I'd rather be the female with the two dudes. I mean, the two women. I mean, be the two women and the man, because I could be like, look, I'm tired of him today. You gonna handle him today. You gonna take care of him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
the ideal relationship. If anything, it's not the two dudes. I was just laughing, making fun of it.
Okay, but wait. Now you say that because, all right, I don't feel like giving this man no booty today. So go ahead, girl. You in the mood?
I would be like this. If we in a relationship, I'd be like, girl, you clean the house, you cook today. Pawn off some of the responsibilities,
Are you, let's be honest, are you truly gonna be okay with another woman in the bedroom banging your man? You know what I'm saying? This is the man you love.
No, I'm not.
And that's the reason why three-way
relationships I'm being honest.
Work.
No, it
it takes
doesn't. So no, I would not be.
But you had a threesome before with your man. So what was the emotion problem that happened there?
Well, like we was talking earlier, the problem is the person that you go find be the third person wasn't a person that I did not know. I used a friend. A close friend. Mm-hmm. Close friend was coming to my house when I was at work, telling my business to him. You know what I mean? So it was kind of back.
So basically, Fly, you're gonna feel this one. So basically, you shared your BAD with somebody else's WAP.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yes, that was a good one. Look, you were like,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
what
you know what? Let me tell you. And it came down to maybe before you brought your BFF in, you should have talked to her and said, "Look here, girl." And is your friend sneaky like that? You already knew before you did it that there was a chance this chick was going to come behind you and try to holler at your man. So,
you know what? I tried to be like, I'm going to sound dumb for saying this because this is the excuse, but I didn't think it would happen to me. I know it sounds crazy to say that, but that's the way I thought. I really did. I thought she wouldn't do that to me.
Right.
And we're still friends to this day. And this is, what year is this? This is 2021. So this is 20 something odd years. So this is when I was young. So young.
And that comes down to don't lay down and spit in the air because it'll come back and smack you in the face, because y'all still cool now. You weren't at the time.
No, we still stay cool. I didn't. No, man.
But you know what? But that's where look.
I mean, she's at fault. Don't get me wrong, but you just said it yourself. If I knew what the person was like, then whose fault really is it? I mean, really tell you the truth, when I knew what that person was about. But I added it, knowing what.
If you're gonna forgive one,
if
you're gonna forgive one, you gotta forgive them both, because they both. It wasn't like he was, because in your statement, she was coming over to your house when you were at work. He wasn't going over to her house, so she's even more at fault because she came to your shit. So if you're gonna still be friends with her, then you need to be friends with him.
We all ended up living together at one point after that. So yeah. So
oh wow.
So, yeah. So after that, we lived together.
You better than me. Because there's no way I'm gonna live with my ex and her man and me and my girl. I have a friend who did that, and every time I used to come to their house, I used to think that is weird. You're in the same house with your ex-husband and his new wife, and you're in the room with your new husband, and when you guys are having sex in the other room, it's got to be weird to know that, damn man, that dude in there banging out my ex. Damn, he sound like he's doing better than I did, or vice versa. I feel bad for him. You ain't doing what I used to do, man. I used to make it. She ain't sound like I used to, you know, all that. So, man, I can't live. Nah,
Yeah.
that just doesn't
Oh,
sound
it was
right.
a lot that went down back with that situation. But like I said, that's 20 something years ago. If anything, yeah, 2000 is a long time ago. So it was
Right.
so 21 years ago. I will say this: I'm still cool with everybody, even him, because basically, I can tell you, I was working. Well, I'm still in the medical. I was working graveyards at the hospital that I work at, and which what do you think he was doing at night? Well, I'm gone.
Um,
Exactly. I found out he was messing with all the crack whores in the apartment we lived in. So I mean, it was
hmm,
basically he was listening, but like I said, my picker's off. No one to blame but Michelle. And yeah. But
right.
that said, there was distance put with the girlfriend wise as far as when it came to a man. We're not
Hmm.
getting close. You're not that part that.
The good part is, I guess the moral of your whole story is, in your case at least,
Mhm.
things can be forgiven and friendships aren't torn apart. That isn't the norm. That isn't the usual. Usually, things end really bad and um, really ugly. Um, Mine, I parted ways. Um, I didn't really want the lifestyle anymore. I didn't. I mean, it sounds crazy as a man saying it, but the the life of living with multiple women just wasn't appealing. That, just like women say men are hard to understand, women are equally as hard to understand. And imagine trying to have to understand a bunch of them at the same time. So, over time, sometimes that gets draining. And
That's a older AG talking. When you young in your 20s, you are for that shit. But as you get
oh
older,
yeah,
it
most
becomes kind of like it becomes a burden to please a woman because you guys require a lot. Not all
lot.
women are as simple as they say they are.
Yes.
So then as a man gets older and you have your experiences, a lot of sex or whatever, you've been in multiple relationships, 10, 12, 15 years, you like, I could have spent all that time putting in on myself and saving all this money that I use today and on birthdays that always gets forgotten as time
Mhm.
goes on. Because why would Janet say? What have you done for me lately?
Mhm.
So it's really never good enough
Mhm.
for some.
Mhm.
For some. So it's
I,
hard. That's why it's so hard to maintain a relationship between a man. I won't say a man and a woman, but relationships, period. Because someone always wants, wants, wants. And they're never just happy being one and building, which is what we should do as people in relationships, is just build together legacies, right?
Right.
For whoever it may be after us.
That's
But we're too busy
yep.
worrying about ourselves in the now, right?
That's
And we only can live, we can only live for today, but we
that's
live for
right.
today in hopes for a better tomorrow, right?
That's right.
right.
So um that's really it. That's what we need to do. We need to get down to um, basically being happy with what the other one can offer instead of what uh, they give us
Y- y-
on a daily basis, because we're all going to fall short sometimes. But
That's
as long
true.
as you have that love, you can have that loyalty, be faithful to one another, and know this person has your back, then you're gonna make it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it goes back to basically the way the people, not everybody. So let me just say that, but some people, they'll find someone because basically there's somebody for somebody, for everybody. It's basically, can you deal with that person's, because nobody's perfect. So there's going
Their
to be flaws.
inconsistencies. Can you deal with those inconsistencies?
Exactly, with that person, if you can. And sometimes people don't realize what they do have is something good. And always when something else looks better and looks shinier, or, looks like the grass is green on the other side, they go try that. And then not realizing, oh, this one needs more. This one tends to because basically, I'm going to be honest with you. I have this 90-day rule. If I'm going to date somebody, it's a 90-day thing. The 90-day thing is because people bring their representative to the table all the time. That's not who they truly are, because once you complicate, add sex to everything, it changes everything. Sex can change everything. You don't get to know the person, or the man basically might have just wanted to stake his claim and said he got it, or whatever. Me, I'm going to see hopefully in 3 months that who you truly are, because what I might like today, I may not like in 30 days of something that might come out. You get what I'm saying? People it's just, so I have this rule because to me, I can tell in 90 days, I can see if I can like you, if I can't. And then maybe, because like I said, sex always complicates things. People don't seem to understand that. People jump right into it, like you seen with their genitals, and thinking that way, not thinking with the big brain, it just, because sex just complicates stuff. And once you do, I guess another thing of being older, sex is so much different to me than it was when I was in my early 20s or my 30s. Yeah, 40s too is different than to me now. It's more to me, it's a mind thing. So the physical attraction to somebody is just nothing. To me, fuck me mentally, excuse my French.
Right.
Do that here. Stimulate my brain. That will make me, want to be with you. But like I said, in a way, now it's all about if you have the tolerance to be able to deal with it. If you can tolerate their ups and downs, their attitudes or whatever. But a lot of us will be like throwing move on to the next, because it's that much out there to have the opportunity. Nobody wants to put in no work. Also, what do you guys think?
That's true. It's easier. Yeah. It's easier to be a single person than to be in a relationship and have to worry about another person and try to please them as well. So, I mean, that's definitely, it's easy to jump ship and start swimming than it is to try to get the water off the boat or put out the fire and steer the ship to shore, right? So,
the problem with relationships, I think, is nowadays when people get together, they forget what the purpose of the stages are. When you first get together, you're dating to see, just like you said, the 90-day rule. You're getting to know each other to make sure that you're compatible physically and emotionally. Once you've established the fact that you're compatible physically and mentally, usually there's another step, but people stop there and now they just want to, because they have their significant other to take care of the physical needs that they need taken care of, they're not worried about achieving further. And what I mean by that is, once you get married, the next gear should kick into, all right, now we need to start, like Flyski said, building legacy. Let's start getting a home. Let's start building some wealth for our children. When I go to work, it isn't because I want to go stack my chips so this weekend I can go party. I've already found my forever. I don't need to go to the club. And if you think about it, back in the day, your mom and dad, they weren't necessarily going to the club. They were having their friends come over, and usually it was like-minded friends that came over. Your friend who has a girl, now you have couples that are coming over and we're having couples night. We're playing games, whether it be cards, dominoes, movies, sitting back just having drinks together, just talking shit. shit talking Sundays, because every day is shit talking Sundays. But the point I'm saying is, those days people are losing track that we have to go out there and party and be seen. It isn't that important. The web has made it more important to be seen and known than it is to be loved and respected.
Because
Because
everybody wants to be famous,
everybody
everybody
wants
wants
to
to
15 minutes of
be
fame.
recognized in some aspect these days, and
Mhm.
it's easy to do that on social media. It's super easy. You don't have to like Samuel Jackson back then. You don't have to get an agent to get you a role or something. You don't have to stand in line to get you a spot in a movie. You can create some stuff on your phone, get known. You can create videos all day long, get you a following, and start getting paid, right? So that's what everybody's focus is these days, right? It's like get paid, get famous, and that's it. It's not about love for your fellow man. It's not about that. When we were talking about mind your business, you should mind your business or not mind your business. You definitely should mind your motherfucking business. But
Mhm.
when you don't, is when you trying to help somebody, right? Someone needs help. Then you don't mind your business. But if you just want to interject your 2 cents, then you're
Right.
not helping anybody at all,
Right.
right?
Right. I guess it's more of keep your opinions to yourself. If it
That's
if
right.
nobody if nobody's in mortal danger, nobody's getting abused, bashed, whatever. Hey man, if you got to understand in relationships, some people like the way they're being treated, good or bad. Some people just like to be talked to a certain way, and that's what attracts them to that person. I'm not saying that they like to be belittled. Maybe somebody likes to be told, "Baby, can you go get me something to eat?" Or "Baby, do you want anything?" Or "Baby, this." And maybe some want, "Bitch, go take your ass in that kitchen, go get me something to eat."
And the
Some
smack on the
people,
booty.
yeah,
Yeah.
some people like that aggressive whatever because it makes them feel like, hey man, yeah, I got a bad boy. And you know, man, we always say crazy is a state of mind because
Yeah.
everybody can be crazy. You just haven't been
Some
pushed to that
people
point.
just communicate like you can definitely we could start off talking like this, and as the conversation gets heated, we could just get louder. That doesn't mean we're mad at each other, but the way we communicate, we yell.
Mhm.
So it sounds like we're arguing, right? But that's not necessarily the case for everybody. Some people are just loud. And like we say, just some people just need to mind their business unless someone's actually in danger, right?
Right, 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 right. Um, man. So Michelle, anything else you want to address about the baby?
Oh
I
no,
want to
I
know.
think we kind of covered that and jumped on over to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's recap for everybody out there from a woman's point of view. Um, it's definitely from your perspective, okay, for women to be very feminine, right?
Mhm.
With each other, wanting to be caressing and all that. And it's definitely not good, in your opinion, for men to be the same way.
Oh, is it okay for a brother to caress you and kiss you on your cheek and it's
Stop that
okay?
gay shit, JG. AG, stop that gay shit.
No, no, no,
You
no.
just
Hey,
said to me, you just
no,
said,
I'm
oh,
not trying to be
come
gay.
on.
I'm just asking.
No,
It's
you
your point
just
of
said
view.
it's okay for you to be feminine, touching the soft face.
Yes.
You just said that it was me. So I'm just saying, is it okay for you? Because it is for me. Is it okay for you to do
Hey,
that to
watch
you?
how you answer this, AG. I might
Okay.
can't come visit you. Watch how you answer this.
Let me before I answer that, let me ask you a question. When your son is 3 years old, as a father, is it okay for you to kiss your son on the cheek?
You say as me
No.
kissing my
I,
son?
I'm a man. This is my 3-year-old son.
Oh no, it's fine. It's your child.
Okay. At what point is not okay for me to kiss my son, my child, on the cheek? When he's 12?
It's okay for
When
he's
it's
life.
your
15?
son.
It's
It's your
okay for
son.
life.
So
I kissed my kids on the lips till they was 10 maybe, and then it turned to a forehead and then on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? Probably till
now,
like 3rd grade, 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? We was still like dabbing on the lips. You know what I mean? But then, you know, as they got older, they was like, "Oh, Dad, that's gay." You know what I mean? So
I
it
mean,
was
but
like
you're
a
bringing
hug.
up a subject here that I think, when it comes to your kids, I think it doesn't matter, because I can
You
say
know.
this: what age is it okay for your daughter to stop sitting in the father's lap? What if you want to go there with the age thing with the kissing? Because I don't.
That's my point. That's why I'm asking, is that okay? Because that was where I was going to go next. So then when is it okay for your daughter? When does she have to get up off your lap? If it's, man, that's your child. But
That's my
okay,
child. If it's a woman, she can sit in my lap. When I said the dad's lap.
right. So why is it different? Why is it wrong for that? Because that's still your daughter, well, especially Fly Ski, when you say it's okay for life. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because Donald Trump had his daughter sitting on his lap and she was grown. But the difference is some of the comments that he made me cringe when I see that image. Because when he said, and don't quote me exactly, it was something along the lines of, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd probably be dating her.
Oh.
You can't, that's where the cringe comes in for me. So at any age it's okay, but I think it comes down to the father and the mentality he has. Is he thinking sexual thoughts about his daughter when she's sitting on his lap? Because that's a man's kind of genetic build, is when a woman is sitting on their lap, if you're attracted to the woman, it's going to arouse since give you some stimulation sensation. So that's where the fine line of, when is it too grown for your daughter to sit on the father's lap?
He has problems if he thinking like that anyway. So
Right. So that's why I'm saying, so
it should never
is it,
be. I don't think is no time period, as long as it's none of that incest, whatever you want to call it, man. You can love on your kids forever.
hey, I think
You
it's just
should.
appropriate and inappropriate, kind of like when a woman sits down, she shouldn't sit down with her legs wide open in a dress.
Why not?
That's old
Because
school. He's speaking old school. That's old
yeah,
school.
Yeah.
because their legs are wide open, and
Not good.
perverted thoughts are going to happen, especially with younger individuals. They're going to kind of like what was Sharon Stone, what was
Basic
Basic
instinct.
instinct.
Yeah.
Basic instinct.
They did that move, and everybody wanted to look between her legs. And how many
Sometimes she
guys
crossed.
out there fast rewound that several times and tried to pause it just to see, did we catch the shot? Oh, we got it. So there's appropriate and inappropriate. I'm not going to say it's okay or not okay, because you're right. If it's your child, there should be no age restriction on how you show affection, as long as it's appropriate. No incestual bull stuff, no tongue kissing in the mouth, all that. No, that's not appropriate. That's your child. But kissing your child, no matter what age, on the cheek, I don't care what age, boy or girl, there should be nothing wrong with that. Then it comes down to, is it okay to kiss your best friend on the cheek? Man, hey man, be safe. Gray area. No.
It's
That's
a
a
gray
question for
area.
B.
All right.
Yeah.
B, that's your
That'd
question
hit,
right
that'd
there,
hit
B.
the
AG, say, "What up, bro? Kiss you on the cheek, man. Have a good day, bro. What you gonna do, B?"
yeah, that'd hit the nail on the coffin. Hell
You know what I'm
no.
saying? So that's where, it comes down to presentation. I think that's why guys always say, man, I love you, man. No homo. No homo, bro. Or they'll say no homo, but Man, I love you, man. I got love for you. You gotta. It's just a masculinity thing to make sure you. Maybe that saying is just to show that I'm about to have a moment of weakness, and I'm gonna let you know this ain't no homo shit, nigga. But uh, I love you, bro.
I don't
So,
know, bro. The only time I might kiss you on the cheek is if you was on your deathbed, bro. You know what I'm saying?
hey, man.
That might be
Uh,
the only time.
so you saying you gonna come out the closet on my deathbed?
He said that's the only time.
That's
Only
funny.
time.
The only time, bro.
Kiss AG on the forehead.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
forehead.
Nah, hey, I don't know because I don't know what would be worse, the cheek or the forehead. Because my vision is this: I can vision you doing this, grabbing me and kissing me on the forehead, and that's some shit. I grab you. You know, you grab your girl by the face and you pull her in. Nah, man, don't kiss me on the forehead, man.
Man, in mob movies, ain't a kiss on the cheek like a sign of death or something? Like you about to die?
I mean, in the movies, yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, they're always so dramatic when people die. It's like, oh,
Depends on who's making the movie.
yeah, yeah. So Quentin Tarantino movie, nah, man, that shit gory. Heads blowing off.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But
Ooh, this is a good
hey,
one.
once again, if there's a LGBTQ person out there that's listening, please chime in. Hit me up, email me. I would love to bring you on the show to get a different perspective to help people understand. I mean,
Man,
do you
woman,
yes, man or
uh,
woman? I don't
I can
care.
get a man. I can get somebody.
transsexual.
Okay, well, maybe we should think about going there because look, there is so much going on in the world in this uh just because I don't want to keep saying all the initials, the alternative lifestyle community um that let's try to bring some clarity and some commonality commonality to everything because we can agree to disagree. I think that if you have your own view or the way that you look at people, that's your own opinion and you have every right to have it. It's just when you want to force your views on somebody else, that's when there's a problem. Um, when we talked about movies showing a lot of sexual stuff, me and Flysky was talking one time, and we were saying, is it are we forcing sexuality on people with an alternative lifestyle because they're seeing a man and a woman in the bed in movies? So are we forcing a straight lifestyle on them? And then if you flip it, kind of like Brokeback Mountain, if you uh, are having guys having sex or messing around with each other on screen, is that something that's forcing the straight people to have to be okay with it? Or should we not have it on TV at all? Because back in the day, before all this kind of stuff was going on, there was a lot of censorship and people were fighting so hard to end the right of freedom of speech. And the problem with it is, like they always say, be careful what you ask for, because once you unlock the box, you might not be able to put everything back in the box. And that's part of the problem of what's going on right now is that you have all those people out there that are, you know, have opened up that Pandora's box and now they can't get back. They can't close the box. That's why Dave Chappelle is catching so much flack from his comments. And I don't think he even I don't think he means anything bad about what he's talking about because I don't believe that he's a gay let me not say it that way, I guess, because I guess that's not politically correct. I don't think that he is LGBTQ or anti that. I just think that he's just anti it being forced on his family. And if you have a different point of view of how you look at it, please tell me.
I think his main point was that they get better treatment than black folks, and we still not getting our just due. We're still at the bottom of the totem pole. You can say whatever you want about a black person, but you can't say whatever you want about a homosexual. Like if we kept saying LGBTQ, or if I got the letters mixed up, or if I just said, oh, the rainbow people, then I would be wrong, right? And they would take offense to all that, right? But you could say nigger, what they showed Joe Biden saying, Negro, you know, you could call us whatever you want under the sun, but it's not wrong.
Right.
You still calling us African Americans or whatever. I would just rather just be a black American or just an American. Why not? Why can't I just be an American? I've been here, right? Probably here before a lot of people. So, you know, why is everybody, the thing is people are too sensitive these days.
Right.
Everybody's sensitive, man. You can't say shit. You know, and everybody's looking for something to complain and whine about. That's why it's like, bro, it's just like movies, TV. Just shut the fuck up and be entertained and stop trying to have an opinion or a comment or at least think that people care about your opinions. Cause a lot of times people don't. Like people don't give a fuck about what I'm saying right now, but it's just cause we shit talking. So that's what it is. And those are my feelings, right?
Every day is shit talking Sundays.
Every day.
24/7.
365.
AG. That's how they do it on the news. When you're done talking, you say the person's name. AG.
Well, Flysky, thanks for that commentary. Let's hey, you know what? This has been a great show. We went over again, as always. It seems like we could talk forever. It just flows so smoothly into the different conversations. I, I Michelle, you're always a pleasure to have on the show. If you have some other friends or folks you'd like to introduce us to the show that might help give your
I
side
do have
of
a
the
friend.
view. Well,
I do have a friend who is he is a gay male. I used to show with him actually back, and you can look it up on YouTube. It's called Checker Nation. We used to go downtown here in Sacramento and do faces and interview Terry Silas. What's the club across the street? A lot of clubs. And I remember at the time we interviewed the gay mayor of West Sacramento. But I do have a friend. He's a black gay male who would love probably to come on and speak.
okay.
I have to. So we talk all the time. So one of my closest friends.
Right on. Yeah, let's bring him on. I'd like to get another point of view. I mean, I have a female cousin who is see, for me, I don't want to say the wrong word to offend anybody. That's why I don't know, is gay a bad word? Do you say
No,
I have a gay friend? Because I
I
know
always
if you use
say
the F
that. Yeah,
word,
and he's gay.
yeah, because if you use the F word, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So,
And now it's a crime to say that. That's a crime.
That's
If you say it,
downgrading
that's why
somebody.
you can call me a nigger and get away with it, but you can't say that word. You're gonna catch a crime for that. You're gonna catch a citation or something.
And that goes back to the
And that's why I said this is ass backwards.
right.
That's my opinion.
That's what Dave is talking about right there. That's what he talking
Ass
about.
backwards. That's it.
So just like with him and Bootsy Badass, I don't think that they are I guess gay bashing. I think they're just wanting people to understand and bring recognition to the fact that, look, it's okay for you to be whatever it is that you want to be. Who am I to tell you what you can and can't be? But I can tell you what I do and don't want around me or my family. So, one of the solutions that might help um, is, I'm not saying that we need to have just a whole, lack of a better word, gay network, but you should have more than one or multiple gay channels that only provide the content that you want to drive. So go out there and create that so that you're giving people the option
Well,
to tune in if that's
You're
what they
talking
want to
about
do.
what, segregated TV, like how they
No,
do
no,
the
I'm not saying segregate.
Spanish channels?
I'm saying give it its own channel like you have MTV, BET,
Hmm.
VH1, and you gear it towards that lifestyle of stuff. I'm not saying that you're forcing information, but you're definitely forcing
We talked about this. Yeah, I mean that would
that would
be a good idea.
and that would solve some of the what we don't need, because in life for human race to continue is still, I don't care how much we argue about it, okay? If there's not a man and a woman, life does not continue. And let's take away technology, because the excuse that people will say is, well, technology will let us. Well, what if technology doesn't allow us anymore? The human race will perish if there's not relations between a man and a woman. So I'm not saying that you have to have heterosexual sex. I'm just saying, in the respect to human life and keeping life going, it has to be between a man and a woman. So what you do behind that closed door is your business. I just don't feel like it should be forced upon me or my children in any shape or fashion. Now, if you want to let people know it exists, that's one thing. But getting into detail and telling people to accept it as being okay, and I guess I need to explain that a little bit, because it's okay to accept people how they are. I just don't feel like you have to get so detailed on how relationships should be between same-sex individuals, because, not to preach about the Bible or just religion in general, but religion about life, like I said, and I can't stress it enough, life does not continue unless there's a man and a woman.
Or a sperm and an egg.
Right. But still comes down to like I said, take technology out of the equation. You have to take technology out of the
Yeah,
equation.
yeah,
There has
yeah.
to be relations between a man and a woman for life to continue. You can't
Hmm.
have two men having sex and they create a life. You can't have two women having sex and they create a life. So, morally, what is right and what is wrong, I think at the end of the day, is on each and every individual, because only you know what you're willing to accept out of anybody. Everybody has their level of acceptance of everything, you know. Just like I'm sure that there's some people out there that disagree. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that disagree with the way the Klan and um, the Black Panther Party moves, but that's everybody's right to have their opinion on how they feel. You know, um, I just don't think it's right to be forced to have your same views.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
that.
that's a valid point. Yeah. And I'm down. I'm down with the channel
You know,
specifically
because
for
look,
that.
hey, the reason I say that is because, look, if you are curious, then now that community is providing more content for people to understand it better. You know,
Yeah,
if you are born gay, then it would make more sense to you watching those kind of shows. It would be more comfortable, it'd be more natural, you know. So why not create a show that will help people to understand the way you think opposed to arguing over how you think.
So
Action speaks
so
louder than words.
we're lobbying for the LGBTQ people to have their own network.
You know what? I'm all for them having their own network if that's what you want to do. Um, and it will help it'll make it easier for my children not to be exposed so dramatically with it on either level, whether it be heterosexual or homosexual sexual content. I think our children are being overexposed to sexual content, just like
Here's a question. Here's a
the
question.
music
When you say
videos.
that, who's responsible for them being exposed? The networks or you?
At the end of the day, the parent,
Yeah.
because this is a free society, and kind of like the Rittenhouse thing. Um, his parent, I feel, has to bear some blame to bringing or allowing his or her child to go to another state and kill some people. I'm sure that it probably wasn't his intention, but it sure wasn't to go there and peacefully protest, especially if you're giving up the right. I mean, especially if you're going there to bear arms. Once you put a gun in your hand, one has to assume that you may have to use it, especially in that type of situation. And I think that at his age, he didn't have the mental capacity to make those split second decisions that could have possibly saved some lives, because every action that he did that day had a consequence, and at the end of the day it resulted in some fatalities.
Well, he had a choice at the end of the day, and he made that choice to do
Well,
that.
it's just
It's just
another, um, you know, I don't want to bring race into it, but it's just another
yeah,
person
yeah,
getting away with killing people.
yeah.
Whereas, if I was out there, UAG, you executioner, we'd be locked up right now
Oh yeah,
forever,
yeah.
Mhm.
forever. So, I don't understand the justice system. I just want to stay out of that motherfucking system till the day I die,
Yeah.
and to me, that's how you live a prosperous life, staying away from them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know?
And you
Right.
know what? I'm not trying to sound racist or anything, but people like that, they have the right complexion for the right protection
Yeah.
against you. You know what I'm
Look,
saying? So they have their own thing of that, man. And to me, he shouldn't have gotten away with that shit. You know,
hey,
but that's more of that judge shit.
at the end of the day, you you're entitled to your opinion. And I think that people shouldn't bash you for your opinion. I'm not going to say I agree or disagree with you, because as it unfolds, the judicial system did what it was supposed to do, or did what it did. I'm not going to say it did what it was supposed to do, because, man, it's a really gray area, very gray area for me, the way it went down. Because, like I said, he shouldn't have been there to begin with.
Exactly.
What parent is going to be in their right mind where they're going to say, "Hey guys, I think that I'm going to let my son go to another state and patrol somebody else's property, not even in my own community, but in another community, and
Melody Gibson.
yeah, hey Melody,
Hey, mama.
and let them do what they doing. That's not, nah, that's not cool. If you
Is
if
that
they,
is that how it went down? His parents went with him, or it was a family
I
trip?
want to
Like
say
what?
went with it. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on it. I just
Is
know
it
that
like let's go protest, or was that what
I
they were
want to
doing?
say it was more of let's go protect these businesses out here.
Whoa,
But you're
okay.
already going with the mentality of um, doing something that you're not. Um,
That goes back to minding your business.
right. I don't know. Like I said, I have a little bit of a problem with that whole scenario. But somebody made a example that that Rittenhouse could go to another state and illegally obtain a gun or be in illegal possession of a gun and commit bodily harm ending in death. And what was he, 12 or 13? What's his name? Tamara Rice, where he was playing with a gun in the park and he was killed
Cop rolled up, shot.
with, yeah.
Yeah,
This guy walked down the street with
right.
an AK or AR-14, something
Cops
like
saw
that,
him. Cops
and,
saw him with the gun. Rolled
nothing
right by.
happened. So that's where the injustice, in my opinion, comes into play. That you have people out there that are really not looking at things from an equal standpoint. Just kind of like going back to the how can you hold a child responsible as an adult when you don't let the same child that you require a child to be a certain age to go and protect and serve our country. You have to be 18 to protect and serve our country, but you can be legally responsible as an adult to do so many other things. As a 15-year-old, you can hold an adult responsible for messing with you underage, um, but you have to be at least 18 to be to die for your country. I don't know, and to vote. You know, I think if you're going to hold a child responsible at 15 for and convict them as an adult, then that's the age that's appropriate for them to have rights to vote and all that. Because you're taking a child's right away at the age of 15 if they're committed, if they're found guilty for something, their whole life has been changed and they weren't even allowed to become an adult before you stripped their uh their rights away. Think about that. Think about that. If a child 13, 14, because there's been 13-year-olds that have been tried as adults and convicted, and all their rights have been stripped, but they weren't even allowed to become an adult to understand those rights before they, you know, got in trouble. Think about that. Things that make you think outside the box and think deeper. But hey, we're way over. I know our sponsors are tripping. Um, I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. Michelle, like I always say, you're always welcome to on our show. Uh, Go ahead and give yourself a shameless plug on your podcast. Tell everybody about it.
Okay, today you can check us out today. Actually, today at 2 o'clock, we will be out. Be tapping in with Lonnie and Michelle. We're going to talk about relationships. That as the single land, the we call it the single pond. So give
Okay.
us a.
Okay.
Where can we check you out at?
My dogs are barking. Facebook Live.
Okay.
Okay. We'll make sure that we come check you out. Um, Thanks for tuning in and thanks for putting in your input, and maybe we can get you on again next weekend.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hey,
Thank you for having me.
bring your co-host in next time.
I tried to today. Actually, she was like, she was at work.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll do a different recording date and bring her in because I'd like to have multiple female points of views. If there's anybody out there listening that wants to come on our show and think you have a point of view that might be beneficial to our community, please reach out to us and don't be afraid to email us at agthedad@shittalkingsundays.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell because the more the merrier. The bigger the community we create, the better it's going to be for everybody, uh, to
Where's
grow.
my plug, AG? Where's my plug?
Flyski from the 106. Don't forget to check out his comic book that's coming out. Um, what's it called again?
I got a few things coming out. It's gonna be a while for that. Basically, I need the streams on the Spotify, on Apple Music, on YouTube. I need all the streams so I can get Flasky from the 106. Just look me up. Play whatever you want. It's about 22 songs out there right now. In a few weeks, there'll be about 30 or 40. So check me out.
We will, Flyski. Thanks for coming on the show, Fly. Much love. Hey, man, no homo, man, but I love you, man.
I love you too, bro. No homo. B-Way, we love you, bro. No homo, bro.
We love each other, man. We're brothers, man. Ain't no homo shit.
Yep. All right. And B-Way, hey, man, it's always good talking to the executioner. Don't be afraid to go check out everybody his Wrestle News Buzz. It's coming. It's gonna give you the latest updates on what's going on in the wrestling community.
And the Barbecue Shack.
Oh yeah, we can't forget about the Barbecue Shack. It's coming. It's gonna be about music, news, and review. So we're gonna make things a little bit more interesting. Be on the lookout for it. Yeah. But thanks again, X, for coming out, man.
Guess what?
What?
Shit Talking Sundays. Every day is Shit Talking Sundays.
Yep. All right, Michelle. Thanks again for coming out, and I definitely will be reaching out to you. If you ever need me on your show, please reach out. I'll be more than happy to come out and make a guest appearance on your show.
Definitely. Gotta have you guys, all of you guys.
Yes. Yeah, thanks again. Everybody, the show went kind of everywhere. The baby, hey man, bro, I guess for you, the only advice I would give you is, hey man, keep your business out the street. You're already a celebrity and you're already going to be under the microscope. So, you don't have to worry about putting your business out there. It's going to get out there. So don't, maybe that's the only advice I can give everybody. Don't be in a hurry to get your business out there, because good or bad, it's going to be found, So once again, this is AG the Dad, Shit Talking Sundays morning coffee. Check us out next week, 9:00 next Sunday. Matter of fact, probably every Sunday from now on, 9 a.m., we're going to go live. And if you have something that you want to know about, you want us to talk about, hit us up. Email me at agthedad@shittalkingsundays.com, and we'll talk about it. Maybe bring you on a show, and you never know where it's going to go. If you want your 15 minutes of fame, come see me. We'll give you a cameo a spot to see what you got to say. Maybe what you got to say is something somebody wants to hear. All right. So with that being said, I want to let everybody know that they should have a very special holiday season, and love one another, man. And remember, every day is Shit Talking Sundays.